The added value of security. Security is one of the basic human needs and an important particular that influences the perception and decision of consumers. While the need for security and consequently the importance of security in our everyday activities and decisions is growing, companies continuously fail to use the opportunity to attract consumers and tackle sales by using the value that their security adds to the product and the entire business. Actually, security plays an important role in all of the 4 Ps of marketing, product, promotion, place, and price. Security doesn't only protect the product, but also shapes it. As one of the primary human needs, the concept of security can assist in promotion. Security protects the place, whether physical or virtual, where actual sales can happen, and ensures that the product will be where and when it is needed. Finally, as risk and price depend on each other, security or lack of security will influence the price of the product. Risks always exist. Someone always needs to address them, and they always cost money. The question is if it will be us that will address risks or leave it to the client to deal with them. That is why price is almost always an indicator of risks. A high price of a product shows that a company is trying to compensate for the risks that it is taking. On the other hand, low prices are a sign for consumers that they are taking a bigger risk when purchasing the product. Attractability does not equal lower prices. If we do nothing but compete on price, we are certainly selling ourselves short. Moreover, it can be exactly security that could be the prevailing factor in ruling out the competition. Many studies that analyze the motivation of consumers put security at the top of the list of human needs that are essential to all selling, whether face-to-face or in advertisements. Most marketing communications appeal to one or more of these desires: security, possessions, imitate others, good health, sexual and romantic drives, curiosity, love of beauty, play and relaxation, feel important, physical pleasure and comfort, love of others, and avoid discomfort. While security is namely one of the needs, it is the essential ingredient of many other listed desires. Security is basically the assurance of possession, health, comfort, and relaxation. It is emotions that sell, and fear and remedy against it are even more successful than sex or desire in triggering emotions. It goes without saying that we would be more keen to prepare for the approaching hurricane than for the upcoming fashion week. Marketing could be simply defined as a professional effort of satisfying the needs of consumers for products, services, and agendas, better than the competition and in a profitable manner by using the 4 Ps of marketing. I also like to define marketing as focused placement of stimulating information aimed at achieving a goal by engineering the emotions, behavior, and decisions of targeted groups. In order to influence the emotions and decisions, marketing professionals require proficiency with the primary needs of the groups that they want to reach. We can divide needs into 2 concepts: consumers' real needs and perceived needs. One of the most common models of marketing aimed at engineering the perception of need is fear marketing, which is based on pointing out the often false or exaggerated consequences of not using a certain product or agenda. Fear marketing is often used for political marketing in health awareness campaigns, but also for advertising a wide variety of products. Probably the oldest and the most successful use of fear marketing is in advertising and spreading religious beliefs. Still, we rarely use fear marketing when fear is legitimate and there actually could be real consequences for the consumer as a result of not using a certain product or service. Basically, even when our product is safer or can improve safety, we rarely use it in our marketing efforts to attract consumers and discredit the competition, apart from occasionally advertising our commitment to comply with environment, health and safety standards in order to emphasize the quality of the product and our social responsibility. On the other hand, fear marketing sometimes simply emphasizes what the consumers already know. Why are zombie apocalypse preparation books bestsellers? And why is there a growing demand for zombie-proof equipment and apocalypse survival kits? In order to analyze the actual marketing and sales potential of security, we must first try to reach the conclusion about the importance of security in our routine, and especially the role that it plays in the decisions that we make. However, we have to go beyond analyzing only the existing or probable risks and their remedy. We can also divide security into two concepts: actual security and the feeling of being secure. Moreover, risk is also two different concepts: being at risk and feeling threatened. Basically, the perception of risk and the feeling of security do not necessarily always match actual risks and actual security. While our understanding of the real threats and actual security depends on our first-hand experience, the feeling of being at risk and the feeling of being secure depends mostly on the information that we are exposed to, whether they are funded or not. There's no doubt that for a business to exist, it needs sales. Sales equal revenue, and revenue means the business can operate. It is naturally the final step in the value chain, and the reason why a business operates in the first place. Security is certainly vital in assisting sales in its mission to get the product to the consumer. However, when assessing the ways in which security supports sales, we usually don't think beyond its role in physically securing the supply chain, protecting the product in retail, and safeguarding the integrity of the brand. We basically mostly get stuck in comprehending the physical support that security provides to sales without thinking about how the concepts of security can contribute to the concept of selling. We've already established that security contributes to all the 4 Ps of marketing. Naturally, sales use the channels created by marketing to supply the product or service to the consumer. Would it be possible to combine visibility and security and produce winning results for both security and marketing, and consequently sales? Although mostly not intentionally and certainly not in a coordinated manner, marketing and sales professionals often actually use security to raise the perceived value of a product, while security measures unintentionally raise its marketing appeal. I like to call this occurrence the display cabinet phenomenon. Basically, when evaluating the value of an item that is openly displayed and easily accessible on a point of sale, and the value of the same exact item that is locked in a display cabinet, consumers will typically assess the value of the protected item as being higher. The principle of display cabinet is also used as an aid in asymmetric dominance marketing. Basically, displaying certain merchandise in a cabinet will give the consumers the feeling of bargain when compared to other merchandise that have the same price but are openly displayed. Although to marketing and sales professionals, this occurrence is solely the result of the directed focus and added perception of value through presented luxury and uniqueness, I believe that luxury, uniqueness and security are actually complementing concepts. Firstly, the fact that an item is luxurious naturally classifies it as exclusive and less accessible. Apart from uniqueness and luxury, security is also a synonym for reliability. In general, for consumers, a higher price equals luxury, which is the outcome of the combination of brand, performance, and reliability. So while the quality of performance of the product is directly related to its purpose, reliability addresses the quality of its other features that are not necessarily visible, such as safety and security. Basically, as consumers, we expect all the elements of a product to follow the price. When we buy an expensive electrical appliance, we buy a brand, better performance, and more attractive design. However, we also naturally expect the product to be proportionally safer than its cheaper alternative. On the example of FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, or for instance branded clothing, the higher the price, the more we believe that security is part of the reliability of the product, and that, as such, there is less chance that it is not genuine or altered. By highlighting security, companies are actually adding value to the reliability of products and to the perception of quality.